science of the maintaining the plant machinery. It is containing both. Art means we need to put heart in it. Otherwise, it won't work. Whereas the science, even if you don't like also, if you are adding 2 reagents, it will produce the similar product at the temperature and the conditions are maintained. There is no need of heart there. Then the brain is applying and that science is converted into a technology. But it is also including your art. So you need to do in an artistic manner the plant maintenance because it is having a de-dusting and you need to have a proper approaches to make it problem there, attempting the problem there. So we are going to have this science of maintaining the plant machinery and another facilities in working order to meet the present and future needs. We have already purchased equipment, crores of worth, we are going to use it now and we are going to take another batches in nearby future and without any interruptions. For that purpose, we need to have a plant maintenance. These topics and concepts will be repeatedly coming in the similar manner and repeatedly. And a plant is a factory, it is not a regular plant we are seeing in a biology, but it is a factory, a place where men, material, money, of course, the money, method and machinery, these 5 M's are brought together and manufacturing products. So machinery is a very important part in the total productive effect. So for that purpose, if the plant is not maintained properly, what will happen? It will lead to loss of production time, labor hours due to the work stoppage, loss of materials due to the damage of the finished goods. In between, the machine got spoiled and your in process is failed and you are going to have the problem. Need of the overtime for completing the production schedules because one batch is already gone and you are going to prepare that batch and scheduled batch. Sometimes your equipment is not rectified properly. You are going to have a rescheduling of your production. So that is one aspect you need to look into it. I hope you are able to receive me properly because I am using earphones. I'm not able to know that whether you are, so there is no complaint in the chat box. So I will be thinking that I will be proceeding in right manner. So let us continue. Plant maintenance have got 4 different bits of the categories. You will be asked in 3 marks like that, lower marks of question in the sessionals, it's individually you may be asked, but in the term and examination, this entire plant maintenance you will be asked as one question. You need to answer all the 4. So the first one is the corrective maintenance or the breakdown maintenance. And the second one is scheduled maintenance. The third one is preventive maintenance. And the fourth one is the predictive maintenance. All the 4 maintenance activities we are doing regularly, but we don't know that we are doing them in our regular life. So we know that, but we are going to categorize them in a proper manner. First, we will be seeing why do you want to do it. So objectives of machinery, keeping the machinery and the facilities in a condition that permits them to be used at their optimum capacity without any interruptions or hindrance in the production. So if we are maintaining it properly, they will not be having a breakdown. So we will be using them in a full capacity. Another one is achieving a minimum breakdown and keeping the machine in a good condition at the lowest possible cost if you are taking a care in advance. Ensuring the availability of the services to the other sections of the factory and ensuring the safety of the workplace. So what are the functions of the maintenance and engineering department? Most of the times they will be taking the care of them. So we are going to give the troubleshooting or the problem to them. They will be giving the actual troubleshoot and rectify the problem. So in this particular case, either problem may be identified by us in the departmental level, or we are informing the problem to the department. They will identify the problem by asking you some error messages or the errors or the what the deviations from the regular activity. Then they will come to the conclusion that what the problem is, then they rectify it. Most of the times the following functions they are going to do. in the maintenance. One is the inspection. And regularly they will check it whether the working is not or anything icky sounds are present or thickness of the usage or lubrication of the machinery is properly or not. So they are all being done by the regular checks. Another one is they will do the repairs. So one part is done and they will replace with a new part and they do the repair. Another one is overhauling. It is actually a scheduled recondition, like you are regularly applying the grease to your lift doors and you are applying regularly de-dusting procedures onto the equipment surfaces to prevent the corrosion. These are all called as overhauling. So this is actually a scheduled reconditioning. Every time you need to do it, or you need to replace some electrolyte or in the vacuum, maybe the oils you need to replace. These are all the overhauling. It will be going to come. Another one is the plant protection. They will be looking after your firefighting equipment and they replace dry chemical powder, or they may be putting and checking the valves of your water jet engines, and they need to sprinkle onto the fire. So these are all the activities they will be doing. In addition to that, they will be taking care of housekeeping. There will not be any leakages and spillages in the factory, and also in the regular usage like washrooms and toilets and buildings and canteens. So they are also taking up the engineering activities like alteration and improvement of the existing equipment by giving some maybe the vacuum or giving maybe the fan additionally to dissipate the heat, or they may be circulating the cold water to make it continuously, which are available to the system for the heat dissipation. Such things they will be doing so that our equipment will be functioning long lasting. The first one in all these activities, what they are going to do in support with all the members of the factory is the corrective maintenance and the breakdown maintenance. What is corrective maintenance or the breakdown maintenance? It implies that repairs are made after the machinery gone out of order. Like if you see in our COVID one, somebody is taking a preventive vaccine so that the problem will not be there with corona, and we are going to have a preventive action, so there will not be any lethal conditions. There is another one is the people, they don't have taken any cares and not wearing the masks, and they are doing one directly, and they will be interacting with the disease, go to the level of breakdown. Means they need to be hospitalized because of the lower oxygen level. It means action is taken after the incident has occurred. That is called as a corrective action, and we want to prevent it before it is going to occur. It is actually called as a preventive maintenance. First, we are taking about the breakdown maintenance or the corrective maintenance. Say, for example, a granulator does not work when the belt of the drive is already loose. If you are regularly checking in the overhauling, you will be checking the tensile strength of that belt. Is it replaced or not? We need to see it. If you don't do that, then what will happen? It may get torn or it may get loose. Even though the motor is rotating, but a granulator will not rotate, you will not get granulation, then you cannot do the compression, so you cannot release the tablets. This is actually what the breakdown is. We should not wait till the breakdown occurs. This is actually the worst type of maintenance procedure, but in most of the times it will be occurring in the small factories. So they think that the breakdown is cheaper than preventive maintenance. They do it. So breakdown maintenance is a curative procedure. There it is not a preventive procedure where the symptoms of the disease are already precipitated. The production department calls the maintenance people, that is engineering people, they rectify the defects, and it is economical for the non-critical machinery. Like you have got hoppers, you have got small standalone buckets or such things. If you are not doing some overhauling also, small things which you can replace it, which are available like disposable covers, such things which we are not going to bother about. That the repair cost is better to replace them. But in most of the times, if it is done in the similar manner for the costly equipment and critical equipment, which they are not available in India or you need to procure from abroad, then it is very costly and your failures of the batch it will occur. Because of that breakdown, you will get a failure to replace the worn out parts, and a lack of lubrication may be occurring because you are not doing regular checkup, allowing the breakdown to occur. Or external factors like too voltage or too high line, that is the reason we are going to have uninterrupted power supply, and you have got a power backup everywhere to prevent this effect by adding a stabilizer. So these are all the things which, if it is not done, this will result into a breakdown. Interferences to the equipment like vibrations and unusual signs whenever the equipment is producing not as a regular manner. If it is not bothered, then the system may be breakdown after a particular period of the time. What will happen in the breakdown maintenance? Most of the times the breakdown leads to the direct loss of the profits because we need to replace the entire part. And it is not that we are going to avoid it also, we need to procure new one. Most of the times it is a hurried maintenance which may often becomes the poor maintenance procedure, and generally it causes the delay in the production systems and reduced output. And if we look into that, let the equipment is being going bad, then I will replace it. Then it will be resulting into the faster plant deterioration, and we are going to pay a larger cost at once. And increased chances of accidents, most of the time this is the biggest issue. When the company is not having a preventive and another type of maintenance, and they are looking at the breakdown maintenance as only the procedure, let me do when the defect occurs, and then when the machine is stopping, then it may result into the accident and less safety to the both workers and machineries. More material will be spoiled because in process some of the material will be getting held, and if you have got a holding time exceeded, our pharmaceutical process has got some of the degradation proceeds, then you are going to throw that material, and it is adding a issue to how to dispose them off. Breakdown can be dangerous to the life. As far as the possible, it should be minimized. That is the reason. No factory should be depending upon only this category of the maintenance procedure. They need to adopt another 3 procedures also. What are the 3 remaining procedures which are available? In that, the first one is a scheduled maintenance. The scheduled maintenance implies that it is the inspection, lubrication, repair, overhaul. Anything that is made predetermined plan. It is not that the equipment is working, or it is a clicky sound it is giving, or it is getting hot, or it is giving a noise, or something abnormal results which are appearing. It is not like that. We are going to have regularly. We are going to have the machinery working in the working condition. Say for example, we are going to have in our application cleaning of water tanks and other tanks regularly every month. This is a scheduled maintenance procedure. It is not that whether you are using water supply, how much frequently, how much you are using it. We have kept this cleaning of these toilets, cleaning of these water tanks, cleaning of certain whitewashing of the buildings and application of the coats. These are all regularly we are doing. Similarly, we are going to have this in our domestic purposes also. So the scheduled maintenance which will be happening without having a sudden like that. We are going to have it regularly when in predetermined situations, and it is already pre-planned. The scheduled maintenance is stitch-in-time procedure and aims at the avoiding the breakdown. So because you are doing regularly and you are finding the fault during their maintenance and you are replacing the parts and everything you are doing it, so it will not go to the breakdown. So all the losses what we have previously mentioned will not occur in this particular case. Anybody they can say if I am crossing my time limit because I am looking at it, so then anybody can say that time is got exceeded. The second type of the major thing which is better and the best and the biggest thing which we need to do is the preventive maintenance among the remaining 3 of outside the breakdown maintenance. So in the preventive maintenance, it is a periodic inspection is made for the locating weak spots. Now don't get confused with the scheduled maintenance. Sir, you have already told that periodic inspection we are doing it regularly. But in the scheduled maintenance, you will look into that activity without any fail. Like you want to clean it, you will not check for whether the tank has got some of the bacterial growth, or it is containing sediment or something. You don't bother about it. Every month you need to clean. Every day you instruct the people of scavengers to clean the toilet. It does not mean that it is badly smelling or it is not smelling, it got stuck or not like that. Regularly, this is the activity we are doing. In the morning, we need to make it everything clean. So that is the one which we do it without skip. But it is not like that in the preventive maintenance. We see all around entire factory and find the fault and see that where the defect you are observing, that only you do it as a maintenance procedure. In the scheduled maintenance, it is not like that. Whether it is good or bad, we don't bother, we do it. But in the preventive maintenance, it is having a locating the weak spot in the machinery and minor repairs are attempted if they are present. Thereby, the danger of unanticipated breakdown can be prevented. A philosophy of the prevention is always better than the cure because it is less costly and it is less troublesome and you don't get any breakdown. It is practiced by about 75% of the companies, but remaining companies of 25%, they will be depending on only breakdown maintenance. So in the breakdown maintenance, we have already seen that it is very costly and the process which is going to be the lethal effects. But whenever the company is adopting this 75% of the company, they have their own program. It is not decided by any FDA or it is not going to be decided by anything. Depending upon the company's complexity and number of equipment, they make the plan of the preventive maintenance as their own. So what is the importance and advantage of preventive maintenance when compared to curative maintenance, what you have seen the breakdown maintenance and the remaining procedures? Less odd-time repairs and reduced overtime maintenance and low repair costs because your defect is prevented before the event has already going to be taking place. And repetitive repairs are present. These repairs which will make the machine long-lasting. Better product quality and the fewer product rejects and increased equipment life. This is the best one which you can expect by doing it. Because we are going to do it when the event is already going to occur, going to damage the particular equipment. We are treating it and we are rectifying. Because of that one, we are going to obviously increase the equipment life. Because of that, our return on investment is going to be very high. Less standby and reserve machinery and spare parts are required because in the spare parts side you are storing 100 parts and you can, by doing a preventive maintenance program, you can reduce it to 10% of the total spares. And just you are putting that whenever the requirement is appearing, you are replacing it and putting an order. Immediately, the order will be replaced, kept in the stores, that 10% of the stock. And it is not that you are going to repeat all the machines. Wherever the defect is there, you are going to have. So, we can reduce the spare parts also. The management adopts the proper action plan. Because of that reason, it won't skip and you are going to have all 100% of equipment machinery which will be applicable to this program. The procedure and the program of this particular which will be including different steps. The first step is that not like a scheduled maintenance, we have scheduled for a tank or it may be any vessel cleaning, and it is not like that. It is the thing we identify the machinery for the preventive maintenance program, which can be anything, any part and any machinery anywhere in our factory, either it may be a safety equipment or it may be a motor pump which is supplying the water, or it may be a production system where you are punching a tablet or anywhere. Another one is identifying the critical key machinery which are essential for the continuing production, that will be taken care, and without them you cannot continue, and they are generally, we know that there will be repairs repeatedly going to come, like material handling equipment like your conveyor belts and cranes, lifts. Most of the times what will happen if you don't maintain them properly, there is a damage which will be very costly of what materials and lives will be going on. A safety equipment which should be maintained properly, otherwise during the requirement of situation, we are not going to get the utility of them, because generally the safety equipment we are going to use when the unsafe or the fire is going to occur. So if you don't check repeatedly, then what will happen? The walls are getting choked, nozzles are not coming and the water is not coming, equipment is burnt and the plant factory is burning, but you are not going to flush the water through the nozzles and quit the fire. So these fire extinguishers and safety alarms, these are all the critical parts we are going to identify and see the maintenance program implemented there. So the identification of the part, another one is identification of the equipment, and another one is a part depending upon the personal experience and the service manuals, and we do the function. What the function we are going to do in that equipment or a part? Routine keep up, that is adjustment and lubrication and cleaning of machinery, and periodic inspection, that is a part we are fixing, allocating to the scheduled maintenance. So in the second one, we have made the scheduled maintenance. So some parts we are going to keep them as a scheduled maintenance as a part of preventive maintenance program. So that is actually getting torn and loosening of the belts. These are all the things schedulely we are going to check it, inspections and overhauls and replacement of the part. Another one is a contingent work. It is actually the inspection of the oil burns and while the oil burners, while the furnace is left for relining. Most of the times what will happen, we need to provide an alternative devices or equipment in the case of one equipment is having a maintenance or anything in order to avoid our actual work. That is actually called as a contingent work. We don't want to lose our service, just like a bypass surgery we are making it, we make a stunt which is working in the place of a regular valve, or another we are going to give a line during the operation so that our function of the circulation is going on without any fail. Such thing is a contingent work, is a part of preventive maintenance program we need to maintain. Generally, we need to decide in the preventive maintenance to make the cost effective is the frequency of inspections. The reason is, if you do frequently, you are every day you are asking your personnel to check it, because as a part of preventive maintenance program, they will be busy and they will be losing their interest to do the actual service of where it is going bad, because they are spending too much of time. That is the reason. Too frequent and over inspections are expensive and not good. And under inspection is also not good. That is, if you are not seeing for 1 year and asking a preventive program implemented for every year, then the breakdown will occur and it is going to be a breakdown maintenance, but it is not a preventive maintenance. So a balance should be maintained for the scheduling, the frequency. So we are going to have an optimum savings also, and there will not be any proper, that is an issue regarding the maintenance problem. So the factors that influence the frequency is a severity of the service and hours of operations. Some equipment they will be working 48 hours and 72 hours. They require a preventive maintenance program immediately after having it. Say for example, your metro trains or any services, they are going overnight journey. The next day they will be checking all parts, motors and brakes and everything. They will check it, because the severity and the hours of operation, it will affect certainly the plant maintenance program. So the age and condition of value of the machinery is also another critical. If you have got a course of work equipment which is coming out from the abroad, and you need to bring the spares through freight charges and through the special pathway, then it may take the longer time. So in order to do the corrective action, it is very costly. So you need to have in advance, you need to check it every time and indent that part in advance, so that you are going to have a replacement that part, so that costly equipment will be saved. And the age of the machinery is also very important consideration to pick the frequency. The old machinery, they need to be checked repeatedly when compared to new one. And similarly, condition. Repeatedly, one machine is given a spare parts and making up repeated maintenance program, so they may be going to have a breakdown that we need to check. PM inspection, preventive maintenance inspection schedule, we need to schedule that. And generally, when you are made the program and schedule and plan, but we need to do it done by in form of an action. So how to do it? The inspection should be done in the day shift only. Don't ask the preventive maintenance to do in the night. Generally, their work levels and the awareness is a little bit later. It is not going to be the better in the night time. That is the reason. The preventive program inspection should be done in the daylight, so that they will be finding each part properly, and it is a good thing that we are going to complete whenever which has got the defect in that particular day itself. and the total workload of the person we need to see it, then we should not overload to that preventive maintenance person one day more and one day completely idle. That is the reason we need to distribute the workload to the entire workforce of preventive maintenance throughout the year in such a way they will not be overload, there will not be any underload. Reason is that when the equipment is going to break down, and if you are asking and utilizing the services, they need to attend to that, whether it is in the 3 shift or continuously they are running without sleeping also, that will making them fatigued. So that is the reason we need to make a distribution in a proper manner. Work is taken up when the machinery is not producing during the setup time. Most of the times, we should not ask the maintenance people to go when the production work is going on. He will say, you stop your work, I will do the maintenance. Nobody will agree. Because I need to supply the batch to the market. When let me finish my work, and after that I will be giving this, then you can do the after cleaning, or you want to before doing a setup of a next batch, if you are doing the maintenance procedure, it will be good. So like that we need to plan in the execution of our schedule. Upkeep work should consume the least production time. Most of the times we are going to generally we are going to have the plan in the day itself, and we are distributing what person and what work they are going to do. That is actually making a smooth flow of your program going. Preventive maintenance personnel we need to decide critically depending upon their education and experience and their skill. And we need to maintain the preventive maintenance records, because what part we have changed, what part is giving a noise, that will give the idea in the retrospective manner later. And we are going to take a decision that this is going to for scheduled maintenance, this can be left for curative maintenance, or we are going to do a predictive maintenance, what is the thing which you are going to have it, that will give the input. The last, so this is by hearing, we can sense something which is working bad. It's like something is getting, plastic is getting burnt. We will get a defective smell. We can predict that something somewhere is burning. This is one thing have a protection. Or you are finding a spark through your eye sense. It means a spark is coming, means that there will be maybe a short circuit or something, 2 wires are getting joined, or it may be getting a friction. This is the one. Say for example, you are feeling a vibration by touching it. You are sensing that vibration, or you are feeling hotness by touching it. You can have that. So most of the times the sense organ, it will give the indication that we can predict what the trouble is going on, whether it is getting hot, whether it is getting moved without any firmness, or belts or nuts which are required to keep in the place are getting loosened. These are all the things which we are going to find out. So there may be unusual sounds which are coming out of the rotating equipment. Generally, we can predict the trouble. This is actually what the predictive maintenance. An electrical cable excessively hot at one point of time, it will give you a foul smell, and it is having a burning smell of a plastic, which we can have it. This is actually what the predictive maintenance is. Predicting by using a sense organs and making it rectified by seeing what type of defect it is having. Instruments are also used for the predicting the trouble before machinery fails. Most of the times we are going to use some tools to determine this. One is the audio gauges, and the vibrational movements you are going to find out and predict. And the vibration analyzers are present without touching them. Sometimes we can see the vibration levels beyond the limit. We can see that. Amplitude meters and strain gauges and pressure gauges and thermistors, these are all the things which we can have a sense. Now we have got a PAC tools, so process analytical technology tools. In that they will give directly indication or alarm or a beep to the concerned person or send the message. By doing that, the scheduled maintenance can be done for such parts, and these predicted parts which is repeatedly going and repeatedly going bad, it will be going to a scheduled maintenance. So it means that these predictive maintenance machine condition is monitored on the continuous basis by human and manually or by using a machine. So then the timely action such as the adjustment and alignment is taken up. So the predictive maintenance extended for the life of the time of the equipment, and it extends the life of the equipment also. So this predictive maintenance, that it is not that one-time activity. In the part of preventive maintenance, we are going to watch this one, whether any equipment is giving a bad smell or noise or the hotness, any extraordinary or non-regular differences which we are able to find out. Then we are going to predict it. I hope you have understood all the four.